The recent reveal and Vidoc from Bungie is probably some of the biggest changes we have ever seen in Destiny, period. Some of the stuff that is coming, some of the features that are being added, how stats are changing, it is all a colossal undertaking, and with the delivery of it in September, we are going to have a completely different game if we are to believe Bungie. Now, I was at the Destiny 2 reveal, and I was given a lot of promises there that ended up not panning out with the game. But they have been making some major changes going forward, and it appears that this new update will be one of the best that Destiny has ever seen, even compared to Forsaken or the Taken King. So I want to break down some of the main features that are changing, and show you a couple of things along the way that might get you excited for the update. But again, take it with a grain of salt, because until we play it, it's hard to know. Let's get started. Let's start things off with a new light. A new light is going to be essentially Destiny 2 for free. In September, a new light is going to be a new downloadable game that you can get on Steam. It is Destiny 2, all of the stuff that has happened so far for free. You can go to Mars, you can play Curse of Osiris, you can play Warmind, you can play everything, once again, for free. If you want to play some of the stuff, like the Forsaken raid, or the new raid and content that's coming out for Destiny 2 with the new season, then you're going to have to pay for that. But the base game and most of the expansions and most of the planets and most of the things you can do, Gambit, PvP, strikes, all of it is free. And you can also get a boosted character. You can essentially jump up to 750 power right from the start. So you don't have to regrind the campaign, you don't have to redo anything, you just get to play with your friends. So if you've never touched the game before, you can jump in and enjoy Destiny 2 and everything it has to offer. But that's not the best part. It also allows you to cross-save. Now, cross-save has been something we've wanted for a long, long time. But cross-save, it's always eluded us. You can now, on PlayStation, on Xbox, and on PC, link your characters and your progression. Meaning, if True Vanguard wants to come play on PC because he wants to enjoy higher frames, he can do that. With your linked account, all of your progress goes to the other platform and you can pick it up as you go. It'll also be on the Google Stadia, and so if you're playing on a Google Chrome browser, you could play it on the browser, apparently. I mean, I don't know all the details, but that is pretty nutty. That means you can play it pretty much anywhere. So what this means is, especially for someone like myself on PC, the population is most likely going to skyrocket. It's going to be free. It's going to be, accessible everywhere. People that might have quit the game because they didn't want to play it on PS4, but they did want to play on PC, they can now drag their characters over, play it on PC, enjoy it with higher frames per second, and the population is most likely going to skyrocket, which is huge, which is good for everyone. Faster queue times, more people to raid with. On every platform, you are going to benefit from this change. There's a new update that's coming. There's a lot of stuff changing. There's going to be a lot to talk about. This update is probably Forsaken or even Taken King level. I would say closer to Taken King level in the fact that everything seems to be changing. So let's jump into that. Now, what appears to be happening is there's going to be a complete overhaul of the armor system, meaning you can choose which perks you want on the gear to give you, your favorite loadout or your optimized loadout. But from what they said, it is essentially transmog in the sense that because you can put any perk and any stat on any piece of armor, you can wear whatever you think looks the best, but have the stats that you actually want. So you can take this helmet and you can put on multiple different perks. As you can see, there's an energy bar, which allows you to take multiple different perks and slot them in how you see fit. It will affect the stats on the gear, but you can essentially make it the god roll for you, for the activity. If you're playing PvP, you can switch it to be a PvP setup. If you want it to be more raid-focused, you can do that as well. But I want you to look over on the right side. Not only does it say mobility, resilience, and recovery, it also says discipline, intellect, and strength. Those are 3 stats from the previous game that impacted how quickly you got your grenades, your super, and your melee ability. Meaning you can now tailor your build as well to get some of these back. Meaning we will most likely get much faster cooldowns on our abilities, leading to more chaotic, awesome PvE builds and gameplay, and a much larger and in-depth stat system and gearing system for your character. This is one of the things that angered me the most about Destiny, is it felt like my character's gear hardly mattered. There was no way to min-max and improve, and it seems to be changing going into this new update. Now, you might not have caught it in the background there, but there are also finisher moves that are being added to the game. This adds a little bit to the RPG or the power fantasy, I suppose, and until we get more details, it's hard to really talk about this in depth, but every class and subclass seems to have a different styled attack. The Titan's got like a powered up punch where he looks back at his fist and says, "Peace," and just pumps you in the face. And I think that's pretty cool. Anything to help style this game out and make you feel cool and badass and strong is a good thing in my books. So the new update in September seems very beefy. We are getting to go to the moon again, which I think is fantastic. It's one of the fan favorites for locations in the game. But there's also going to be new exotics. There's going to be new gear, new weapons, new armor, a ton of new stuff from what we can see in the footage. And there's no exclusives on it. Because of the cross-save and because of how they're going forward, you don't have to worry about exclusives. But there's also going to be some new PvP stuff. They asked about Trials, or Datto, I guess, asked about Trials in an interview, and they said that it's not ready yet. They're not really focused on it right now, but they are doing stuff for PvP. But if I had to guess, they are doing a lot for the PvE side of things. Raids, strikes, new activities. There seems to be a lot of stuff to do here. They said the moon is 2 times larger than the moon in Destiny 1. You get to return to some, previous stuff. You get to see some of the old stuff. But there's also a raid coming in the Black Garden, one of the most beautiful locations from the first game. So I'm very excited about this. The Black Garden is a very cool location, and getting to do a raid there is going to be both nostalgic and fresh and exciting and really, 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 really cool. Now, on the moon, there's going to be some old enemies that have been resurrected from what we could see. There was Gull and Crota, Atheon, I believe. We even saw Skolas, and this looks like the fight where you initially got the Black Spindle in the first game. From what they discussed, essentially, enemies are being resurrected on the moon. The Dark Below is bringing back all of these enemies, and that is going to be one of the major activities for the DLC. But there's also the raid separate of it, so it's tough to say exactly how this will play out or what to expect from it, but knowing that some of these iconic enemies are going to be resurrected and we're going to go murder them again, maybe will lead to some really cool loot like the Fatebringer coming back from Atheon or something like that. I am definitely hyped from a lot of the stuff that I saw, and being able to return to some previous content from the past is interesting because it kind of fits into their new Destiny as an MMO model. They've never really used MMO to describe this game, but their plans are continually upgrading and improving your character, stats and optimization, and really building on this same world. Now, does that mean that Destiny 3 isn't coming out and they're only going to be Destiny 2? I have no idea. But it is very interesting that they're committing to that MMO word or title, because that is a very, very different experience than I think Destiny 2 was at launch. Destiny 2 was all about everyone gets a gun and everyone gets a piece of gear, and you collected everything, and it was easy to get gear, and there was no stats, and it was a very neutered experience. If they do a 180 from that and go into more depth and stats and things like that, I personally am going to play this game much more. That's one of the reasons why I hardly touched the game when it first came out, and honestly, I'm kind of on the hype train a little bit. It's tough to say. It's tough to fully jump in, but the Vidoc was very interesting. It's very exciting to me, and I highly recommend you guys watch it. I'm going to link it in the description below. If you guys want to watch it yourself, it's like 15 minutes long. You can get an idea. You can judge for yourself, but as it sits right now, Destiny is looking to improve drastically over what it was in the past. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. My name's MTashed, and make sure to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.